Alright, let's discuss knife sharpening and knife sharpeners for a little bit. This is a typical Lansky system. It's, I think, one extra stone in here, sapphire stone. It's like extra fine stone. A lot of people love these systems. They do work great. I've got a stand for it that this can go on to and kind of keep it level and everything. You know, works really good. Excellent system. Not really portable, even though it does have a case. It's something that you're probably not going to take out into the field with you due to the assembly, due to lack of an area or a place to set it up, what have you. Same thing goes with, and plus it's a number of steps to go through, you know, as far as attaching the different stones, or the different stones. Stones in and of themselves are a great sharpening tool. I absolutely love using my sharpening stones. I've got this is one of the Spider Code. This is the fine. Couldn't remember if it was the fine or the ultra fine. This is a typical combination, or glue together rather. Two different Arkansas stones. Really fun for knives. They work great. This you can, because of its size, it could take it out in the field with you. Unless you're using oil with it, you're probably not going to walk around with a bottle of oil in your pocket, but you could use, you know, water, spit, whatever, to just something to lubricate it. It is fragile if you dropped it. It's slower than other things, so you know, there's that, but it is something you could travel with if you wanted to. It is something that you're not really going to be able to do serrated edges with. Just a straight edge blade. That's, you know, if that's what your thing is. So just kind of pointing out the advantages and disadvantages of different tools. I really like these. This diamond edge does, or this diamond stone does work really well on the Smith's like 3-in-1. I don't really use this carbide cutter at all, if ever, unless I've got like a really damaged blade. These are difficult to get in and out of the bottom. At least on mine they are. That's one thing I don't really like about this. If they came in and out a little bit more easily, I'd be fine with it. As much as I love the edge that ceramic sticks, I want to say Crocs sticks, but Crocs is more of a trade name for Lansky. But the ceramic sticks, same difference. I love the edges they put on them, you know, how great they do of a job they do. I don't like how fragile they are. These are kind of a proprietary shape. However, a regular round ceramic stick does fit inside of here. So, I mean, you know, you could get one and cut it in half probably and fit it in the bottom, what have you. Actually, it wouldn't fit in the bottom because they're V'd out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's supposed to double as a finger guard and cover that up. It works sometimes. Actually, no, it doesn't, because this little thing always comes out unglued from there. So I've glued it back in several times. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I'm probably going to get rid of this top part too. But anyway, I do like these. Just it's bigger, so it's not something I travel with. You know, I mean, depending on where you're going, you know, but like in the field, what have you, it can be fragile, bulky. There's some assembly. There's a couple of steps to it. It's got its pluses and minuses. And now we have this little guy. You see these at gun shows, stuff like that. The Select tool used to be called the Master tool years ago. It's been around since, I want to say, the 50s or earlier. I am not a huge fan of it. It is a pull-through sharpener per se. The idea behind it is it works better because you do one side at a time. You know, your left side of your blade and the right side of your blade. So you're not, but then you go right to here and use a dual angle. So you're kind of, I don't quite understand the technique or the science or gimmickry or whatever you want to call it behind that. But I don't like it because it's too much plastic. Oh, you know, when I've used it, I feel the edge cutting into the plastic. Not a huge fan. it works okay. The results I've gotten off of it have not been great. Other ones I've had have, kind of fallen apart. This piece right here has gotten shifted over. I will say the company is very good about their warranty. Send them like $5. They'll send you a new one right out. That's good. The fit and finish is, leaves a little bit to be desired. Why do I need a glass cutter on a knife sharpener? That's what this tool back here is. Whatever. When I had one of these 20 plus years ago, I had an idea that you could loosen this and move it upwards and then use it like this for like a lawnmower blade or a longer blade. I don't know if that's still promoted. I haven't seen it on the websites, and I haven't loosened this up to see if that's a possibility either. That last one being a pull-through type sharpener brings me to this. This is a sterling sharpener. I think the reason people get a bad idea about pull-through sharpeners of any sort, especially those with the carbide tips such as these, is they use too much force on them, and they can rip off a ton of metal. You can see metal shavings there, of course, but technically any sharpening that you're doing, whether it be even a stone, you are removing metal. Just here you're doing it at a more rapid pace, and you use gentle light pressure. They work fine if you do that. The problem is this is a very fixed angle, so you're going to be limited to the types of blades you can do. Can you do the majority of what you have in your pocket? Probably. This is probably good. And, there's techniques you can do where you use these parts of the carbide to sharpen other things. Kind of, a little stroking motion, which brings out, these are quite popular online. The Handy Sharp. Can't remember the guy's name. Brad, somebody another sells them. I think he calls them a different name, or Sharpen's Best is another name they're sold under, or a company that sells them, what have you. I'm not a huge fan of these. It's one of, you got to kind of line it up just right and, twist this and then kind of brush it off. What I find is this sits so recessed that I end up hitting the plastic more than I do the blade. If you're going to get one, get like the Coronas, or this is, the little $5 deal from Lowe's, the Blue Hawk. It's the same thing, but you have more. You have the exact same piece right here. And these are made in China, which is kind of a big letdown for me. I was trying to see if it says it on here. It says it was somewhere on the packaging or something. But anyway, this, I can come in different, I can use the corner or the edge. It always calls it a corner. To me, that's the corner. But anyway, the 90 right there is kind of what they use to sharpen with. But yeah, I found you can use either portion of it. But I like this because it's more exposed. If I can get it to kind of show up here. It's more exposed, so you have more surface, what have you. That also has a V-notch for any type of repairs. You can see how recessed that is. It's difficult to get onto the blade. I'm holding the camera with one hand, so it's a little harder to kind of demonstrate. But even, they show like using it for serrations and such, and I just find it hard to get down in there and rock it back and forth. Does it work? Yeah. If you want to spend time to learn it and all that, yeah, you can make it work. Sure, I'm not going to say that it won't work. It can, but it takes a little bit of time to learn how to use this thing properly. It's not the most user-friendly tool I've seen, and comparing it to others, I go with the competition for, if I want that style of sharpener. These are fun little things. A lot of people swear by these type sharpeners. Old pull through from the the Bakelite era, probably the late 50s, early 60s, even to the 70s. I'm trying to see if there's a date on here. No, let me see a brand. They do decent. Most people keep in their kitchen drawer. As far as stones go, this is one for keeping out or for using in the field. different grits, has a built-in guide, has your built-in ceramic stick. It does work well. This is supposed to be for serrations, but for example, if you're doing serrated knife, I mean, it's multiple steps. This going into each one, and it's not going to fit every single serrated knife as well. So it's got its advantages, got its disadvantages. Has a built-in strop. Sometimes I put a little bit of abrasive on there. This is a good tool. I do like it. I've done a lot of work with this sharpener. Most of you know that I have been using and selling the block sharpener for a very long time. The block sharpener has been around for a very long time. Been around since the late 60s. I haven't been selling it quite that long. Have been using it quite that long. I've been using it for right around 20 years. And recently began, selling them. It's funny because it's basically a couple of these. Your old chef steels. Is exactly what it is. Not basically, it's exactly what it is. Chef steels. These are Rockwell to about 69. Very hard, harder than just about any metal on any knife you're going to put on it. See, I say that to say they don't wear out. They do come with a lifetime guarantee. No questions asked about it. What makes this different is how it flexes. So what that does, when you put a blade in there, it opens, it flexes to the edge. So it hugs the edge of the knife that you're sharpening. That way, I said, you don't have to worry about exact angles. If an angle is a little bit different, I put this to it, I'm going to change the angle of that knife. But then when I go to another sharpener, this angle may not be the same as this one, even though they both say 20 or 22 degrees, what have you. This is going to find that angle of that original edge and make that edge better. Some people, because it removes little to no metal, will refer to it as a honer more than a sharpener, but it definitely does have sharpening properties. We take these and we use the side of it like this, especially for garden tools and such. So the founder calls it a honer on steroids, but it's a, whatever you want to call it, the thing works. So a competitor actually went on and started calling his the Hunter Honer, and I've had this for quite a long time, and it does work well. There are things with using both that I find this one doesn't work as well, and I think you'll look right here and just see the quality in the pins. And that should answer your question, right? Any questions right there, and subside any doubt. The spacing between the abrasiveness in the pins is much different as well. But this does work. It is what it is. There was something else I was thinking the other day. These are also very easy to, I can pull out with one hand, basically, these pins and turn them around, and that's one of their selling points. And I think a reason that is a selling point is because they know it is going to wear out. These you can with some, kind of, you had to probably remove the pins, but it's not something that's really done because you don't have to remove them. All right. So these things, they've been around a while. They do work. And big names decided to make some competition. Look familiar? But it must not work too good because they had to add a couple other things as well. I got this. I thought it was cool. And when I got it in the mail, I'm like, wow, this thing is huge. And it doesn't work that well at all. You'll be surprised what a little bit of flex does for your knife. These pins do not move at all. And I can see why it was discontinued. It's just too big and too bulky. It does not have good results at all. So these are everywhere. The Edge Maker. what it has to do in 2, 3, 4 steps. I mean, there's whole, conglomerate things of this. Yeah, they do work at, alone, but there's also like multiple steps you can go through for like the ultimate edge or whatever. They're junk. I mean, honestly, I've tried this and used it. They don't flex at all. They just don't work very good, and half the time it is difficult to determine which is the fine or which is the coarse on these two. The instructions are kind of sketchy. Just, I don't know, pretty gimmicky. Flexing for a blade, to reach the edge of the blade is definitely a good thing. This is one of the Rachel Ray promoted these a while back. The company is actually going out of business now. However, you can still find them. And it seemed like a great idea when I got this thing. This is nothing more than a few like emery boards almost glued to these little metal strips. This is what's the name of it? Fury. But there's a smaller one as well that's sold, for like kitchen knives and everything. So it has these little deals, and you put your blade down in here, and they spread apart and hug the edge. Yeah, you can see the quality of this. I mean, right there, falling off. It's just garbage. It doesn't work that well. It gives a god-awful sound whenever you run a knife through it. And you know what? You can only do one type of blade if it even did halfway work. So, let's see if I can demonstrate this for you. I drew a black line on here to kind of show you how these things hug the edge or whatever. Give me just a second. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to see if this black line will go away. I'm going to try a couple different sharpeners. First one I'm going to try is the main competitor. Now the black line should start disappearing at the very edge. I don't care about up here, obviously. And this is not really the ideal way to use it, but I'm limited on space and hands and everything else. You would put it on the edge of your table, run it through, push in. And you can see the black line disappearing a little bit. Or can you? I really can't even tell right now. This is one of those little $3.87 knives from Walmart. I've been carrying around a couple of months. It actually works halfway decent. Let's see if this thing here will hit on the edge at all. I see some black on the rod, so a little bit's coming off. Like I said, it's just a very difficult angle. It's hard to say. They claim you can do serrations with this, but it's, like I say, I've tested before and after, even with that, and it's garbage. Alright, so let's go. Huge difference already. I mean, just look right there where I've gone in. So, what I'm attempting to demonstrate to you is how, with the ability to grab an edge and hug that original edge, you're actually doing what you need to do. I don't have to sit there and grind with the wrong angles, a fixed angle, or what have you, and take away unnecessary metal. If I can go back or go to where I need to go from the start, it takes out all the guesswork. It takes out all the extra work. And that's just clearly demonstrated right there. Try it out. Get you a block sharpener. Put a black line on your favorite knife. Run it through there. Watch it disappear. That's what happens. You won't find a better sharpener for your serrated knives. You put it in here, upside down is, kind of rock it back and forth. What you're doing is you're vibrating these rods to get into the serrations and sharpen the serrations. Simple as that. Okay. Now with these, even this little guy, I'll take the whole thing and run it through here, and it works just as well. It's a pretty good knife company. They're inexpensive. They're here in my home state, so I like those. One important thing about these, if you look right there, it says made in the USA. The name of the website's right there. Lifetime guarantee, made in USA. Best $20 you would ever spend. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, let me know. This isn't the ideal filming conditions, but hopefully you've learned a little something, and more importantly, hopefully I get just a couple more people to contact me and purchase another block sharpener. Funny thing about that is just about everybody that's ever purchased one from us, they still have it, they still use it, they come back and they buy more. So I know you're going to enjoy it. Thanks for watching.